What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're back in the shop getting some work done on the Kodiak. We got a long list of parts piling up, so let's get to it. Alright guys, one of the first and most important things is a Fass titanium signature series lift pump. These Duramaxes, before like 2009 or something, I don't know exactly when they started putting lift pumps in them, but this 2008 does not have a lift pump. That means the fuel is being taken to the motor through vacuum, and this is just going to save our injectors. So we're going to go ahead and get this installed. We found a good place right up in here on that cross member. This bracket actually is going to bolt up on those two holes, and then this other bracket mounts to that bracket sideways, and it's going to sit right up here nicely. We're going to come over here and start with the electrical. We've got our fuse tap and all of our electrical set up, so we're going to tap into one that is hot when the key is turned on, so that the fuel pump starts. Okay, we've got our 10 and our 3 in. We're going to plug it back in, figure out how we're going to run this wire out, run the rest of this wire over to where the lift pump is. Alright, now that we've got our electrical ran, we have a spot picked. We're going to go ahead and get this pump put together. We're going to go put it in the vise, get some of these fittings in, get the filters in, get this all prepped to use these mounts to go onto the frame rail. Alright, we got this all prepped. We got our rubber to go in between this mount and the frame, so we're going to go ahead and throw this up. Don't know if you're going to be able to really see much, but up in the frame up here there's a bunch of room, so we took a couple bolts out right there and we're going to mount it up. Alright, we got it all tucked up here nice by the transfer case, mounted up nice and snug. Now we just need to hook up our 3 fuel lines, our suction line and our return line. We have to disconnect them up there. I need to go get a fuel line disconnect tool. I actually don't have one, and we'll get this buttoned up. Alright guys, we have been working. We got the turbo unbolted. You can see half the wiring harness is out, the whole passenger side. We're pulling that. We're pulling the EGR because it's deleted, but the previous owner left it in, so while we're in here we're going to pull that out, get it out of the way. Turbo is 1 bolt away from coming out. We're doing glow plugs, obviously that wiring harness. We already got our master cylinder in. Our steering gearbox seems to be seeping a little bit, so we got one on order, and we got all new power steering lines. I'll say that it's actually a lot easier to work on than a regular diesel because I have this doghouse. Sorry if it's a little dark, I'm trying to point the camera there. That's why I haven't been recording too much, but we got the up pipes unbolted, we got the down pipe unbolted, we got the EGR unbolted, so we're gonna continue to get this torn apart. Alright, look what's out. EGR and turbo. Let's go take a look. You can see no more turbo in the doghouse. And then look at all that room. We got the wiring harness taken out about halfway, so we're gonna keep chugging along. We made it a little bit further. We got the turbo in there. Still looks a little crazy up here, but we got the AC compressor back in. Got a lot of stuff bolted back up. Wiring harness is about halfway in. Phew, alright, glad that's done. Top of the motor's back together. We got all our glow plugs in. We got our wiring harness hooked up. We had one issue, you Duramax guys will know about glow plugs coming out. One issue with the back glow plug back there. We're gonna have to, in a future video, get that resolved. But The turbo, EGR, all that stuff is all buttoned up. As you can see, this side is all back together. We got some fresh fluid. We painted the arm white. We got a new gearbox in there and all new power steering lines. So that's all buttoned up. If you can see, they welded, this is the regular shock mount. When they put the lift on, they left the same length shock in and they just welded these plates in. So we're gonna go ahead and cut this off and move the shock back down where it's supposed to be. I didn't want to bore you with cutting all that metal out and bolting in shock, so there is the new Bilstein 5100s in the rear. The fronts are back ordered, so we're just waiting for those to come in. Alright guys, another thing we're working on the Kodiak is installing this Airlift airbag kit in the rear. It's going to replace that bump stop right there. So there's 4 bolts. We're going to go ahead and get those pulled out, pull the bump stop out, go ahead and mount these mounting brackets in. Alright, we got all the rivets drilled out. Now we got to peel it back with this air hammer. And there we go. Those 2 are out. That 3rd one's almost out. Okay, now that we got the plate off, we need to grind these rivets flush because they won't hammer out, and then we need to drill them out. Alright, we got them all ground flat. We're going to clean all this area up so we can reshoot it with some black. And then we're going to go ahead and drill 2 half-inch holes on the bottom through where the rivets are, and then 2 3/8" holes on top, and then we'll get the plate mounted on. Alright, we got our top mounting plate in. We have our airbag kit all put together except for this top plate's loose. Those nuts and bolts got to go in here, and then these go under the leaf spring, and we will get this buttoned up. Alright, bags are holding pressure. All the lines are ran. Ended up putting the manual fill right here. There was already a hole drilled, so just reamed it out a little bit and put our little air nozzle right there. So the airbags are all wrapped up. We got some Baja Designs XL80s installed on the mirrors for some more light. As you Kodiak guys know, these headlights suck, so I'm gonna look at getting maybe some fogs or something for driving that can go down there. But we got these in, and we actually have them wired up to a switch panel right in here. So we only have the one on here. We have 8 switches. I'll show you where I wired that over there. But while I'm in here, we got this Jensen 10-inch screen installed. Backup camera, super nice. And then we also, let me get this light out of the way, took the Suburban center jump seat and I actually got it mounted in the Kodiak here. So now we have a center console, cup holders. This will fold up into a 3rd seat for the weenies. So lots of stuff. Let me go show you where I installed everything for this. So all the doors have these little storage compartments right here. You just pop them open. It's Auxbeam. And there's a little fuse right there. So I drilled a hole, and the batteries are actually right under here. So it was perfect, and then I ran it up through and into the dash. We also have our 7-way that we wired in for the camper to hook up to. So we're good on that. Lots of things getting checked off the lists. Alright, one of the last things that we're going to get installed on the Kodiak today is this Safety Plus steering stabilizer. This thing is huge. It's for a Class A motorhome. We have this mounting hardware over here that I grabbed that will fit the Kodiak. It's gonna bolt underneath the U-bolts. So let's go ahead and get this put in. Got her all bolted in. All right, I think we got everything buttoned up, so everything's primed on the fuel system. Let's go ahead and fire it up. Not exactly sure why it died. There must be some air in the system that the Fass pump is still working out, but fired her back up, started right up. Gonna let her idle for a little bit, and we'll take her for a test drive. That Ryan's diesel service turbo sounds amazing. It's probably loud, but we're doing like 50 miles an hour and it's pretty smooth. It's pulling to the right a little bit, but the alignment hasn't been done and I didn't expect it to be perfect, but turbo sounds awesome, truck's running good, doesn't seem to be leaking anything. That's a win. We are back from the test drive. The truck ran great. Couple little things we need to wrap up. We need to get an alignment. We need to dial in tire pressure. We need to dial in airbag pressure. But all in all, for everything that we did and our first time working on something this big, that's a win. So that's going to wrap up this video. If you guys like this content and you want to see more, please like, subscribe, share this video with your friends. Stay tuned for more content coming. We're wrapping up the interior remodel on the camper. We're going to get that installed on the Kodiak, and in March we're headed to Anza Borrego in the Jeep, so our first adventure of 2022. Stay tuned for that upcoming content, guys. Later.